Hi everyone, my name is Hennesis from ArmHug and I am here with Debbie, another special guest. She has been a phlebotomist for 12 years, mobile phlebotomist for 12 years. I can't even imagine that. So, I mean, that shocked me and I'm super excited to get to know you, Debbie. So, tell me a little bit about how you got started and yeah, just let's go from there.
Well, I started off, well, make a long story short, I was in criminal justice first, and my mama got sick with breast cancer. And because she was not born into the States, she was born in Haiti. You know how insurance could be, in the United States of America. So I became her caregiver as she passed away. I kind of changed, crossed over from criminal justice to patient care technician program. And then from the patient care program, I started doing HHA. But then I was like, okay, they are like family too once you get to know them as well. And then my last client died. So I was like, this is not for me because it's like they become family. So it's like you still have the hurting inside. So I branched off and started doing phlebotomists, and I realized, wow, phlebotomists get paid more than a CNA. So I stick to doing phlebotomy, and I've been doing phlebotomist ever since.
Wow. So personal experience drove you to start a career in phlebotomy. And then now as a mobile phlebotomist, how was that transition?
Wow, it wasn't quite. It was a sacrifice that had to be made. I realized I'm worth than what other companies wanted to pay me. And then I realized that, everywhere you go, you would just find someone with a different name, title, that is always going to just think you are beneath them. So I'm like, I love what I do. And I think the best thing to do is to start my own business and be my own boss where I don't have to, sit around and deal with somebody or get paid less than what I'm worth. So that's what made me start my business in April of this year.
Wow, that's amazing. So I feel like a lot of people always have questions about jumping into mobile phlebotomy as soon as they're get the certification as a phlebotomist. So in your experience, like, do you recommend that someone start at a lab, at a hospital, and then transition to mobile phlebotomy? Or with
I
what
would def-
yeah.
I would definitely say they have to get their feet in, not only with hospitals, because my first experience was not in the hospital when I was fresh out of school. My first experience was at a plasma place. So they was the first one who hired me off the back. And I stayed with them for like 2 years and gather up my experience. And from there, I gradually went into an agency. And then from the agency, I gradually went into the hospital and stuff like that. So you might not get into the hospital as soon as you're done with school, because some hospitals, like, I don't know, this other states are different, but here in Florida, some hospitals will want you to have experience. So I always got denied when I was fresh out of school trying to get in the hospital. The only place that gave me like experience fresh out of school was, again, the plasma place.
Okay. And so you're saying you're out in Florida. Is that where your business is located? Can you tell us a little bit more about where we can find you?
So I'm based off Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but I do serve Miami-Dade and West Palm Beach County.
Got it. And so your operations are all 7 days kind of thing, or is this their full time basically, is what I'm asking.
Full time, but 6 days. Sundays are strictly for my son days, so I keep that closed all the time. Like, I do not do anything on a Sunday because I already feel like, as a parent, we short our kids a lot from always trying to work and get things done for them and stuff like that. And me being the first time mommy with the boy, yeah, I can't give a job 7 days of my time because my son definitely is a mama's boy. So Sundays are strictly for him and God.
Got it. And so Debbie, I guess like with what you're seeing out there, do you find that a lot of your patients, like, are they generally much older? Do they typically ask and request for you to come back to them? Like, I'm just curious to see, like, how is the patient volume? Do you see a lot of interest in mobile phlebotomy?
The volume is varies. I do work with mostly elderlies, but you do have kids that's also sickly and do have to get their blood drawn weekly, like if they are diabetic or they have other sick conditions. So I would say it varies, but majority of the time is elderlies.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then do you typically see the same patients every week? Do they call you follow up every 3 months or 6 months? Just kind of like what's the schedule look like, or does that vary too?
That varies too, because you can have some patients like it varies. You have some patients that's dialysis that would like to see their number. You have some people that have high blood pressure and they on medication, they would like to see their numbers. So also it varies as well.
And did you go to school for learning how to start a mobile phlebotomy business? Or is this something that you started to learn and then maybe grab a mentor and ask a lot of questions?
Oh, this is something I YouTubed a lot, and then as I got a little bit into it, then that's when I started. Well, pretty much when made my business page on Instagram, I was able to fluctuate and talk with more other people that let me know who are their mentor, and that's how I was able to find my mentor.
Yeah, so you did a lot of networking and then researching on YouTube.
Yes,
That's amazing.
yes.
And so when was that moment that you said, I'm ready to do this, and you decided to just go and you haven't stopped since then? Like, what's that drive, I guess, that you have now?
When I start, well, I got my EIN number in January. Then I filed with my state in April. And then May, when I just had enough with the job I was at working full time, I was like, yeah, enough is enough. It's time for me to start. So May was the month where I literally branched off and just been on my own since.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds a lot like my origin story. So I also started before. I wasn't in mobile phlebotomy, but I started the business, like the EIN number, and then I was still working at the place I was working at. But it's almost like you need to do it little by little. And for some
Yes,
people, that works. It looks like it worked. So now we're
yes,
both now employed by ourselves, but we had to start little by little. So, I mean, that's amazing that you had the courage to do that, right? Because it takes a lot to do that.
yes. Because at first, even after I told like my manager, they always like, oh, they're this, and this, a third. And you know, you're gonna have those people that down talk you,
Sure.
but if you listen to them, you will never make it. Like, cause if I had listened to them, I would never be where I'm at today. And if I wasn't in so much fear, I probably would have been farther than what I am now because I already had it in my mind to leave that place. But because of what they were saying, I'm like, oh my God, how will it be with income or this and that? Instead of just taking a jump and leap off on faith. So May was that month that said, okay, Debbie, take a jump, leap off on faith, and God would just continue to move.
Right. And you made it happen and it's working for you. And so is
Yes.
there anything that we can do for you as a community? Is there any help that you need right now
Um,
with anything?
well, share more of my business and, more clients can know who I am because, like, I don't like to boast or anything. Like, even with my clients, even having first time clients, I always tell, they're like, oh, how are you? Like, this is my first time seeing you. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Sure.
And you have some phlebotomists out there that's like big headed. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Or they trying to tell the client this. I'm not that phlebotomist. I usually tell the client, hey, you the judge, you'll let me know at the end, how was it? And 9 out of 10, I always get that, I have gifted hands. I have hands where they never feel my stick. So with saying all of that, I'm just happy to just move forward because like phlebotomist is not for everybody, you know? Like I can't go into a dealership and telling the man how to do his job because that's not my thing. But you know, everybody have a talent. So it's like you have to have that talent to just grow into it because a lot of people know who I am. And after so many years, they're like, why don't you go be a nurse? Nurse is not my thing because I can't see people get shot. I can't see people like, hurt because I'm gonna be sitting there crying. Even working at a hospital for 2 years, I cried every time I left the hospital because it's like people that I see that was hurt. It's like I can't see them type of stuff. So people was like, "Wow, but you could take blood." Yeah, because the blood is inside the tube. But if it goes on the floor out, like me and that person, we are, we out of there. But it's
Right.
just like it takes the courage to just move forward. So more of the promoting and networking, that could pretty much help me to get more, out there. I pretty much appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and you're doing the right thing, Debbie. I mean, you're doing something that you felt in your heart, right? You knew that
Right.
you had to move on, you did. And so I guess now what's next, right? So in the next 5 years, where are we going to see you? What's coming up for you?
I'm have my own building, my own draw center. It will be I'm claiming it to be before 5 years, but I'll be there 5 years, a
Okay.
little under 5 years.
Yeah, that's great. So I mean, you guys heard it. She's gonna have her own building. She's probably gonna look for phlebotomists. So if you're in if you're in phlebotomy in Florida, right, you're gonna need some help.
Most definitely.
All right. So Debbie, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. I'm gonna let you go. I know you have a lot to do. I know how busy you are. But this has been incredible. It's always great to meet people from all over the country. It's amazing how many of us there are out there, phlebotomists who are continuing and starting their own business. And I'm gonna be rooting for you, okay? So I'm gonna be in
You.
touch.
Thank you so much.